the UFO community that they have a kind of selective charity, which they apply, whereby eyewitness accounts, like you said, trained pilots or whatever that have accounts of observing, a UFO, are are treated as if, to disagree or to at least to propose alternative explanations for what they observed is like insulting of
Oh,
their
yeah.
expertise. But on the other hand, they're very clear that you should always be skeptical of everything that the government says and does. So it's like there's a hyper skepticism towards any narrative that contradicts or says, that they investigated UFOs and they didn't find enough evidence to find it credible. And then on the other hand, there's like a hyper charity or credibility extended to eyewitness testimony. And it's interesting because it's often in the same conversation, sometimes in the same paragraph, that like both of those approaches are deployed.
So you would treat two things differently. One is kind of an organization doing things, and the other one is an individual doing things, just speaking for themselves. So if you think like a government spokesperson saying we don't know anything about UFOs, it's very different to a pilot saying I saw a UFO once. So you think the government spokesperson is doing their job. Pilots, their job isn't to lie to people about seeing UFOs. So I think it's kind of understandable that you would get that. But there is this kind of a veneration for pilots and military pilots in particular. And if I say things about pilots, not about them, but just to question their account, it's viewed sometimes as a grave insult that I really should apologize for. What I'm doing is saying, well, maybe he was a bit mistaken in judging the size of this object or the distance away that this object is. And that's basically all I'm saying, that pilots are humans. They can make mistakes. And pilots do make mistakes. Like I've been talking about the other mistakes. Pilots themselves, they're not immune to mistakes. Sometimes pilots, fly into the ground because they misjudged how high they were off the ground. This is something that happens.